Jet, what has led to us here with this score at the half?
Well, it's a great defense by the Tropang Giga. They played a great defense, limiting the inside presence of Japet Aguilar and the Genebra team. They only limited Japet to only 5 points and controlled the boards, but really the defense that they played, forcing a lot of turnovers, forcing Genebra out of their easy shots, really gave them that upper hand. That first quarter, we saw Stanley Pringle really explode and score bulk of his points. No one really could find a way to stop him from the Talk and Text team. But, things picked up and they got their rhythm. Of course, our Bogoy was very excellent in that first quarter too.
And Bogoy was able to do some damage in the first. It was in the second that he really got himself going. Like Jet said, a lot of Stanley Pringle as well. Pringle scored 12 points in the first quarter on top of 2 assists, one of which was that beautiful pass to Mariana in the second quarter, was where TNT would be able to gain some rhythm behind this man, RR Bogoy, who scored 11 points in that second quarter alone. They managed to limit Japet inside. He did score a couple of baskets, but really the defense that they played, forcing turnovers, Jason Castro and a couple of other guys finding ways to carve into that defense and get easy shots. Of course, our Bogoy again really capitalizing with his 3-point shooting that gave him that slight advantage in that first half. And now some numbers your way and things that will really allow you to see the difference in Game 1 and Game 2 might not necessarily be here. Again, rebounding, Jet. Right now, the TNT is +1 in rebounding.
Well, that's the biggest concern that they had coming into this game, -19 from that first game. But in this one, they really contained that inside presence and a lot of other things too, forcing 11 turnovers for Genebra. Really forced them to play out of their spots and causing that poor 3-point and field goal shooting, to say the least. But just enough. They're not shooting the ball yet. Talking about Tropang Giga, they're not shooting the ball well yet. But because of their defense, they got the 4-point lead.
Now taking a look at the leading scorers, as we mentioned, Bogoy and Pringle leading the way, as they did in Game 1. But only them have reached double figures. And if you're looking for a certain name, Ray Parks for TNT, again, he's not playing. He is suited up, but not playing here in Game 2.
Well, some other guys picked up the slack for him. The bench points, really a big plus also for Talk and Text. They really came in and provided a lot of impact for TNT. But, a couple of other guys have been playing well. Our Bogoy is really a guy to watch coming into this second half. How will Genebra adjust to his hot shooting and great offensive play? And let's see if Japet Aguilar also can pick up his steam in the second half and adjust to the defense that Tropang Giga is really applying on him.
Bogoy and Rosario taking on the responsibilities and the challenge of stepping up with the absence of Parks here in Game 2. Stanley Pringle doing Stanley Pringle things, scoring, dishing, just doing everything for Barangay Genebra. But if you are the red shirts heading into the second half, Jet, you're Tim Cohn, what's one thing that you want to correct maybe or do better?
Well, you want to impose yourself inside. You want to slow down the game a little bit. You want to get into your easier shots. You want to get Japet Aguilar involved. In the first half, I felt like Genebra really played to the pace of Talk and Text. They're rushing their shots a little bit. They're shooting more than they're used to. Yes, they're moving the ball a lot more. However, they did have a lot of turnovers. So they got to watch out for the turnovers. And they got to execute to find inside plays.
A steal there for TNT. Really making it difficult for Japet Aguilar, both on offense and defense, as Bogoy attacks and gets what he came in for.
We'll talk about another thing that Genebra has to watch out for is this guy, Bogoy, taking advantage of that miss on defense and scoring inside and one basket.
That is our amazing play of the quarter, brought to you by Smart. Experience next level speeds with Smart 5G. Bogoy able to complete the 3-point play, picking up right where he left off in the second quarter. He now has a total of 19 points.
Genebra sticking to their starting 5 for this ball game. I want to see how Stanley Pringle would adjust if he tries to keep it going or tries to get Japet involved too.
Pringle also able to score immediately. So it continues to be Pringle and Pugoy leading the way for these two teams.
So good inside-out play. Japet got the ball inside, threw 5 white shirts toward him, and found Stanley Pringle wide open on the corner.
See now TNT holding on to their 4-point lead. Pugoy using the pick from Eram, able to bank it in.
Called back on that play. Everything going for Pogo as he scratches his head and realizing that yes, it did hit the glass and go in, but everything going for them. A lot of plays have been run through RR Pogo and he's producing right now.
That was a perfect shot by our director, the scratch on the head. And he gets a steal here, skying in. Looping layup over Scotty Thompson. RR Pugoy has scored 7 early points here in the third quarter alone.
What an offensive show RR Pogo is showing us right now. Nothing slowing him down.
All of TNT's points here in the third have come from him. Tolentino looking to answer, trying to get the foul. He was able to bait the defense up in the air. Rosario will be fouled by Tolentino.
It's like a 2 free throws signaled by the referees, but the whole bench is signaling for a goaltending violation. I think they're going to see what happens. But look at this. RR Pogoy calling bank on that shot. What a shot. And this layup taking off early, far away from Scotty Thompson and floating it over his outstretched arms, soft off the glass.
That layup, Jet, looks a lot easier than it actually is. It takes a lot of skill to do that.
Oh, it looks like reviewing this call, Talking Tex wanting, Tropang Giga wanting a goaltending violation, but it looks like he hit the ball before it even hit the glass.
If referees take a look at the same replay that we saw, it looks like, they will be giving 2 free throws. Good decision from our officials. We're bringing this game to you live, of course, from the AUF Arena, powered by Smart 5G. It's Jut Sulit and Jet Manuel, together with Selena Dagdag Alas and Denise Tan, patrolling the sidelines over at the AUF Arena. You saw the numbers of Pugoy. 7 already in the quarter.
Totaling 23 points on a high field goal percentage. Really, everything going down for R. So, we questioned in the first, or before the start of the ball game, who will pick up if Bobby Ray Parks does not play in this ball game. And it looks like RR Pogoy knows that he's the second guy up, and he's performing well today. And that steal on LA Tenorio.
Pugoy will get it back. Now to Reyes. That's a miss. Mariano collects the rebound, and Genebra, they are down by 10 points now.
6 steals now for Talking Tex. So they're really playing well on the defensive end, forcing Genebra to bad decisions.
A steal again for TNT. That's their third steal of the third quarter. And this 10-point lead, Jet, is the biggest lead of any team in this series. Rosario able to maneuver his way underneath and extending the TNT lead to 12 points. Timeout requested by Coach Tim Coney. Had seen enough.
With this pass, early seal position, Aldro Mariano just working, carving his way inside for an easy left-hand finish. Troy Rosario going to work into this timeout.
much more attempts from the outside. Coach Sandy Arisbacochaga says this is just as planned, as they wanted to take the 3-point shots when they're open and drive to the basket, and that's a better option. Basta importante, they're mindfully reading the defense thrown at them. At this point, TNT also limited Genebra to 16 points inside the paint in the first half. Lamang din sila sa forced turnovers at rebounding. And though this was commended, the warning was much stronger. This is similar to game 1, Coach points out, and they need to be ready for any surge on Ginebra's part. I'll turn you over now to Denise.
Over at the side of Genebra, assistant coach Richard Del Rosario, defensively they need to do a better job on Roger Pogoy, given the fact that Ray Parks is not here, not available to play. Dapat they should have an easier time stopping him, but Roger had 16 points in that first half. He also mentioned that they lacked aggressiveness on their offense. They were taking too many threes. They had 17 in the first half, 8 in that second quarter alone, and they were taking just one of them. And he also mentioned 11 turnovers, saying that they were too tentative, and that's what's causing all those mistakes. Gentlemen.
Well, as Denise was reporting Ginebra's concern on RR Pogoy, RR Pogoy gives them more things to be concerned about as he continues to scorch Ginebra. That's 10 points now for Pogoy in the third quarter alone, and this is a big run now for TNT.
That's 11-0 run for TNT in this third quarter, and the majority of those points have come from RR Pogoy. You know, saying he's playing great is understatement to how he's performing right now. That last three is just capping off a huge run for them. 14 points this quarter, and the way they're playing defense and forcing turnovers to Barangay Ginebra, only 3 points now for Ginebra.
You know, in game 1, Jet, Pogoy did score 19 points, which is right around what you can expect from him. However, he could only shoot 1 for 6 from downtown. That's not very RR Pogoy-ish. However, here in game 2, 3 for 5 from outside. And the lone response of Ginebra has been from this man, Stanley Pringle. He also has been responsible for all 5 points of Ginebra here in the third. Someone else might have to step up. Ball back with TNT. They're up by 13. Era, the help coming from Pringle. Beautiful find there. De Leon even had time to look behind him if there was anyone who was catching up. That's how open he was.
That's a great find by Era inside. He caught the ball, just looked around and found a wide open teammate inside. So this run is huge, and they're really creating havoc. I think, yes, it's a Tropang Giga possession right now. The pressure that they're applying on Barangay Ginebra is really causing trouble to them. You see here, though, the only good shot that we've seen right now. Wide open look for Pringle, and there it is. Looks around, and oops, wide open teammate inside.
You know who's someone that he might have learned those tricks from? Remember, recently added to the TNT coaching staff is assistant coach Ranidel De Ocampo, who always had great vision when he was working down in the post.
Talk and text great. Ranidel, you can always rely on his knowledge and his experience. Pointing that out. I think Eram took that one from him as we see a foul drawn by Ginebra. If you're Ginebra, that's something you want to do. You want to take advantage of the wide open lanes because of talk and text denying the passing lane. So Aljon Mariano took advantage of that, threw the foul, and now has an opportunity to shoot 2 free throws.
Here's Mariano. Coming up short on the first one. Now Castro will be entering the game. Jet, talk about the presence of Jason Castro. Like we mentioned back in the first half, he doesn't really score as much anymore, doesn't really take over games. But through him, the younger guys of this TNT Tropang Giga are able to shine.
The TNT really relies on a guy like Jason Castro. He knows his role now. That's the maturity that he's had in this game. You know, if you tell him to score 30, I bet you he can still score 30. But that's not the role that the team needs from him. And the coaching staff, I think, of course, know that or explain to him too. There's an understanding that he has to be more of a facilitator, more of a leader, someone who will calm things down and make sure everything is running the right gear. So that's what he's been doing for TNT today.
And Ciso, difficult three there. But Eram doing enough to tap it. However, Pugoy could not chase it anymore. Ball goes back to Genebra. Genebra, aside from their misses, it's also the turnovers here in the third quarter that have hurt them. 5 errors already, Jet, here in the third quarter alone. But that's the time that they are able to score. Mariano becoming the first Genebra player to score in the third quarter, aside from Pringle.
Well, again, taking advantage of driving lanes. I think Genebra is reading right now, or Aljon Mariano is reading that, if TNT is really denying the passing lanes, you have driving lanes wide open.
Pringle off the glass. A little bit similar to the jumper Pugoy knocked down earlier.
That's just a great individual play. And of course, Stanley Pringle. And see here, Aljon Mariano, there it is, taking advantage of the driving lane, forcing the contact on Eram, and Stanley Pringle doing the same. This time, though, his version of 2 points is a back shot off a fadeaway.
Genebra slowly chipping back into the game. They are down by 10, but still a lot of time remaining here in game 2. Washington, the veteran, coming back to life in game 1. For a long time, Jay Wash was the veteran presence on the bench. He wasn't really seeing a lot of playing time. When it comes to the big stage, he's someone who's familiar with it.
Well, look at his stats, 14 points. The shooting that he had, the couple of threes, or back-to-back threes that he had to bring TNT back into that ball game were huge, and that's something I expect for someone like Jay Wash, someone who's experienced, someone who's not going to shy away from those big shots, and someone who's just going to make the right decisions. In those situations, when Jason Castro and Jay Wash were running that pick and pop, pick and roll, man, he got 2 wide open shots, and he knew that when he caught it, he's going to take it, and he just knocks him down. So Jay Wash is one of those guys for TNT that really expect to be that veteran leader that can guide the team throughout this final series.
And Jay Washington has really been, given the green light here in the PBA bubble as well. Playing much more than he used to in previous tournaments, and he's proving why. Castro with a foul there. However, he says that I didn't foul him. Should be our ball.
Looks like it's an argument on who tapped it last. No foul was called. A great steal though by Stanley Pringle. Poor pass by Kim Montalvo. And let's see here. It's a swipe. I think it's a swipe.
You're right.
By Castro, yeah.
I stand corrected. No foul whistle there. Only out of bounds. And oh, check that. It will be a foul on Castro. And you hear now, it looks like from the bench of TNT, and from what I hear, it seems to be coming from active consultant Mark Dickel. Next play, he screamed it about 10 times, reminding his players that, all right, we have to keep our focus in this game and not in that one call that the referee made.
That's a great point. Great point also being yelled. You gotta think about the next play. I mean, yes, the refs will, the call, didn't go your way. However, you still have that lead. You still have, the great defense that you're playing with. with, and you don't want to give a chance of to Genebra to come back because they can take advantage.
From my perspective, Jason Castro might have had a case there that maybe it was off of him, but maybe it was a foul. But see what happens when you think about the next play. You keep your focus rather than your mind stays in that what you felt was a bad call, and the rest of your game is affected. TNT regains a double-digit advantage here. Mariano, faced by Washington. Aljun gets away. However, he lost control of the basketball, but referee says it was a foul on Genebra. Yeah, Mariano lost control of it, attacking. Jason Castro did not. He was in full control the entire time.
I love that sidestep from Jason Castro. How he maneuvers his body outside the big man and then brings his feet or his foot back inside the paint. It's just a great move.
Well, Jet, you know how different players have different ways of pulling off the same. Like, Pugoy hitting that three-pointer again. I was talking about that sidestep and how someone like Richie Rivero would use it differently. Castro would not travel as far as Richie, but his speed allows him to fool the defense. But Pringle also quickly responding to Pugoy's three.
Responding throughout this whole ball game. 25 points now for Stanley Pringle to the 26 of RR Pugoy. So these two are going at it.
Here's Pringle now. 3-point shooting of both teams on your screen. Pringle looking to switch on takeover mode.
Kip Montalvo, the rookie, guarding a guy like Stanley Pringle. You can't take away anything from Kip. He's a great defender. But when you're guarding Stanley Pringle with all the explosiveness and experience, you're going to get caught off guard. So in that play, Stanley took advantage, seeing the rookie up on him and drawing the foul off his gambles for steals.
We can never really, open up the brain of Pringle and see what he's thinking. But you feel that when he sees a rookie and Kip Montalvo guarding him, even knowing that Kip is a known defender, his eyes light up and he says, I think I can take this guy.
But I think it's a thing for vets when they have rookies guarding them. That's just the reality of basketball. When you see a rookie come in, you know that you have that experience, you have that, that confidence that you have to take advantage. There have been great rookies, don't get me wrong, but I think it's a thing when rookies really are guarding you.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I don't know a concrete example of it, but I'm pretty sure there has been an instance where a vet says, okay, I can take this rookie on, and 3 seconds later he says, okay, maybe I can't.
Yes, there have been situations like that.
Castro at the free throw line right now.
Castro's being more aggressive in this quarter. So we were talking about how he was a facilitator in that first half. I think in this quarter, he realizes that there's been a little bit of a lull and Genebra is gaining rhythm, and that's just his maturity and leadership. He wants to take charge now, get to the line, make something happen on offense. He's doing a great job at it. 2 free throws.
And if you watch all the games of TNT, I think that's really the only time where Jason would try to take command. Whenever he feels that the other team is catching up already or is getting away, and his team is in need of his leadership.
Zone defense for TNT here. Interesting switch.
Mariano, nice spin, and an even better shot there. The hook goes in.
Good read by Aljun Mariano, catching it on the high post. No movement. He sees a big man he can go one-on-one with, and that's just a great shot.
Castro again. An offensive foul. Pringle had been waiting for the call. You saw his reaction, the frustration there. Felt like Harvey Carey had been holding on to him.
He felt like it was a late call. He knew that it was illegal because after that screen, see Carey grabbing onto him and pushing him down underneath. You can't do that when you're setting screens, and he's complaining. I think it paid off when the refs called that foul. Good call by the referees.
Dillinger looking for a teammate.
Aljun wants the ball.
He wants to take on the vet in Harvey Carey. Aljun Mariano! That's the reason why he wanted the basketball.
What a sweet move by Aljun Mariano. catching it on that low post, sizing him up, and that favorite, I know it's his favorite hezi. And that sweet reverse, that's something I've never seen before.
When he was with the USC Growling Tigers in college, Arjun would play the 4, sometimes even the 3 position. He has taken on a different role with Genebra, but the skills have remained, and he showed it that time. He says, Kuya LA, how about this for a reverse layup? Arjun has brought Genebra back within 5. Barangay Genebra has sort of silenced Pogoy after such a fiery start to the third quarter. And Ciso open in the corner, and Simon stays flashy.
9th 3-point shot for TNT, and the 4th for Simon Ciso. All his 12 points have come from beyond the arc. He's shooting wax hot today.
The arrows are out. Simon hitting from deep. Pogoy chasing down, getting his 3rd steal in the 3rd quarter alone. That is how good he has been in this period.
Oh, sorry call for RR Pogoy in that play. He got the steal, but look at this sweet 3-point shot. One of the best shooters that we have in the PBA right now, and he's feeling himself. Those arrows.
Letting it fly, and he got the result that he wanted that time. However, like you said, a foul was whistled on Pogoy. It was a great recovery for Jared Dillinger because he was the one who lost the basketball but did not give up. Even if he was caught in a 2-on-1 break, Jared was able to force not only a countered error, but even earn himself 2 free throws.
Well, in the finals, that's where those little plays really come into play. Sometimes in the elimination round, you'll be tempted to give those 2 points off. It's just 2 points, it's the elimination round. But here in the PBA finals, every possession counts. And a guy like Jared Dillinger knows this.
Here now is TNT. What used to be a 15-point lead for them is now only, I was about to say 6, but Pogoy immediately changes it back up to 9.
The 30 bomb for RR Pogoy.
Oh, they say it's a 2-pointer.
Well, still the 30 bomb for RR Pogoy. 31 now in this ball game, and it's only the 3rd quarter.
And this has been his best scoring quarter so far. As Jeff Chan, another response.
Talk about shooters. You always talk about Jeff Chan. He's not, he's past his prime, but he can still stroke it.
Approaching a minute remaining in the 3rd quarter. Castro, out to Rosario. That's his favorite spot. Comes up short. Pringle pulling back. Now sends it to Caperal. Thought about it. Prince has been quite hesitant with his outside shot. Jared Dillinger will not be hesitant. And he drains it. TNT's lead is down to 2.
It's a shooting game now for both teams. Which team will stop that fire and that hot shooting?
Castro could not hit it. Genebra a chance to tie or take the lead. Mariano will enjoy a pristine pass to the hoop. And Genebra's bench celebrates as a counter run here allowed them to tie the game up. We started the 3rd quarter, Jet, with a 14-3 run for TNT. Right now, it's Genebra in a surge powered by Dillinger and the rest of the barangay. They tie the game up at 68. All of these highlights you're seeing, they belong to Barangay Genebra San Miguel because the last few minutes have belonged to them. prolific scorers in PBA history, El Granada, Gary David, is up on the hot seat tonight at 9:30 p.m. on PBA Rush, available on Signal TV channel 260 for high definition and channel 90 for standard definition. It is also available for free via Signal Play. Of course, PBA Rush is where you can find the PBA 24/7. Thanks for joining us here, John Sulit and Jet Manuel, on board with Celine Dagdag Alas and Denise Tan. Now, to all our fellow Filipinos, Christmas is our time to give cheer. Donate now and sponsor a warm, festive meal that helps hard-hit Filipino families continue to feel hopeful despite these tough times. Join the Tuloy Pa Rin Ang Pasko movement led by Signal and TV5 in partnership with the PLDT Smart Foundation. And we all know, Jet, how trying, how challenging 2020 has been. You know, the PBA bubble. This has been planned also numerous times before, but we're really thankful for the PBA and everyone who is responsible for making it work, bringing that sense of normalcy. And I think 2020 is a year of just uplifting everyone. Bogoy will come up short, but Era mops up the mess right in the nick of time. And even after an 8-0 run that Genebra used to tie the game up, Bogoy and Eram and TNT still take the lead into the fourth.
15 points in the third. Coming out of that first half, still continuing his scoring streak now. 31 points off 12 of 18 shooting for this guy, RR Bova. He's been doing it all. Offense, defense, layups, threes, fadeaways, you name it. He's got it in his bag. RR Bova really giving that 2-point lead to Tropang Giga.
70-68 is the score, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. We'll be back with the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter action about to begin inside the AUF Arena, powered by Smart 5G. This is game 2 of the PBA Philippine Cup Finals, brought to you by Honda, the official motorcycle of the PBA. Genebra took game 1 in overtime. Jet, would you be surprised if we need an extension here to settle game 2 as well?
Of course not. See how both teams are playing. They're playing great basketball, one after the other. And look, how about a guy like Aljon Mariano who's really come alive for Barangay Genebra, led the charge to come back for Genebra. In that third quarter, they scored 32 points in that quarter. And a lot of things went well for Aljon in that quarter.
16 points now for Mariano. And he has been key in a game where Japet Aguilar has been controlled by TNT. Only 5 points for Japet. It's Aljon Mariano, much smaller, and maybe cannot jump as high as Japet, but the contributions have been huge.
Oh, it's a foul. on Dillinger against R.R. Bogoy. He's gonna get 2 points to add to the stack that he has today.
What Dillinger was saying, he was adamant that he fouled Bogoy before he was in the act of shooting.
Nonetheless, R.R. Bogoy will get 2 free throws. But I want to point out the lineup that Genebra has on the floor right now. Very interesting to see. You got Scotty Thompson as your point guard or main guard. You got Jeff Chan, and you got Dillinger and Aljon, and then Prince Caperal. So I think it's aside from Scotty, everyone coming from the bench. So I think it's a mix-up now of something that worked for Coach Tim Cole to end that third quarter and be that surge coming back.
Well, the thing is, you see the third quarter production for Genebra. They did score 32 points, but mostly from Mariano and Pringle. But yet, among the 5 starters of Genebra, Pringle has 27 points. The rest combined for 9 points. And those 9 points only come from Arvin Tolentino and Japet Aguilar. Scotty Thompson and L.A. Tenorio remain scoreless.
It's a big question mark for Genebra. They need those 2 guys if they want to get going. But some bright spots to see if you're Genebra is that you're only down 2 points. Those other guys are contributing. You see here though, Eram taking advantage of the absence of Japet Aguilar, realizing there's no other big man inside. I can get inside and get mine. And this time he's getting 2 free throws.
Eram is also showing his versatility. Normally, we would see him mop up the messes of his teammates, just as he did towards the end of the third quarter, grab offensive rebounds, get those putbacks. But now, he's receiving the basketball far away from the basket and putting the ball on the floor.
8 points and 8 rebounds now for JP Eram. Not a lot of shots. It's 3 out of 6 from the field. However, he's contributing a lot, especially holding the fourth down low defensively against Japet Aguilar.
But in game 1, if we're just talking about efficiency, Eram led his team as a plus 14. The next guy was only a plus 6, and that was Kip Montalvo. He has really been a factor for TNT.
A lot of switches for Talking Tex. And a foul is called on Ryan Reyes as he switched off and bumped L.A. Tenorio. So the switching defense of TNT, I don't think Genebra has really found a clear answer yet. They tried to get it down low to Japet a few quarters ago, and now they're trying to attack it a little bit more. So this is an interesting type of defensive scheme that Talking Tex is running.
Obviously, without Ray Parks, TNT had to shake up their attack a little bit, maybe make some minor adjustments. But do you see any drastic changes that they did to address what turned out to be problems for them in game 1?
Well, no, not really. I think they're running their usual type of basketball. They're getting their open shots or shooting open shots. I think they spread out the floor a little bit more to bring Japet Aguilar out of the paint and attack him deliberately. But with the absence of Bobby Reyes, they're missing a huge production. But R.R. Bogoy, you got 8 Eram coming alive. You got Castros steady as he is. I think they're playing very well.
And as we mentioned, Thompson remaining scoreless, but he does have those rebounds and 7 assists as well. Or check that, 2 assists and 2 steals. And I know if you've been watching Scotty Thompson for a while now, you'll say, I'm used to more bigger numbers for Scotty. But I guess you also have to give credit to the TNT defense. They took away the effectiveness of several key players for Barangay Genebra.
I love how they locked in, aside from the great offense that we see, that offensive performance that Bogo is showing. They locked in on the key players, like you mentioned. They adjusted well. They tried to take them out of their usual tendencies, talking about Japet Aguilar getting inside. You talk about Scotty Thompson, his offensive rebounds and his creating with the ball. And L.A. Tenorio still scoreless in this ball game. So those are 3 key players for Genebra that they've limited.
Mariano to Chan. Thompson trying to go backdoor. That was stopped by Reyes. There are 10 minutes to play in game 2. 9 on the shot clock of Genebra right now. Thompson making his move, setting up Chan. Jeff splitting two defenders, could not get that jumper though. Rebound by Pugoy. Oh, he did not see Rosario, who was ahead of everyone already. Castro misses. Fast-paced exchange here for TNT and Genebra. Turnover. And Castro will enjoy a pristine tap to the hoop.
That's 6 turnovers from Scotty Thompson alone. So, he's not having the best of ball games. Coach Tim Cone is very irate because that was a spoiled opportunity that they had. 19 now turnovers for Ginebra.
And remember the report earlier of Denise Tan, where she said that Coach Richard Del Rosario spoke about turnovers, and how they hope to address it in the second half because they had 11 in the first half, but it's been piling up and it's been leading to easy buckets like this for TNT. 15 points off turnovers for the Tropang Giga. However, Jed, even though TNT only has 12 turnovers, Ginebra has also scored 16 off of those errors.
The turnover story for Ginebra is really something to be concerned about because they're not a team that usually creates that much turnovers, but somehow, some way, they're only down 5 points of great performances from guys who have picked up the slack. See a cap off by Aljon Mariano in his free throws. 18 points now for him.
Big game for Aljon. Eram. TNT staying patient here. Rosario, out to Castro. Jason, back to Troy. Gets LA on the flyby. Extra pass to Castro. Ball movement was beautiful, but shot doesn't work. They get another crack at it thanks to Eram's tap. Rosario leading to Poy, and they reward Eram on the drop pass. He was responsible for that second opportunity.
Excellent possessions for TNT in that play. They got an extra possession and they executed it perfectly. Pick and roll basketball leading to a big pass down low and then a foul on JP Eram. You see Coach Tim Cone is very angry because that was first a spoiled defensive rebound, and then they get 2 free throws and a chance, but JP Eram misses.
You see Radidel de Ocampo, assistant coach now for the TNT Tropang Giga. He was also a part of many championships for the franchise. Pringle handling the rock right now for the Barangay. Japet coming up to set the pick. Pringle doesn't use it. Instead, he gets open in the corner but couldn't knock down the three. This game has slowed down even more. It was pretty slow already and low scoring, but imagine Pugoy responsible for almost 50% of his team scoring. Eram lines it up. A bit short on that three.
3-point shooting is not going for TNT in this ball game. You see great performances from guys like Enciso and Bogoy, but they're the only guys that have knocked down threes aside from one from Troy Rosario. So it's not good for them.
Pringle, long bomb, Stanley, no good. And I think at this point, Jet, the fatigue factor becoming more and more evident, and this game has slowed down into a timeout. That is, I think, badly needed right now by both teams. But we hear L.A. Tenorio, he was egging on his teammates to bring out the energy with 7 and 18 left here. here for TNT, not just because of the double-double that he has, 11 points and 10 rebounds, but also because of how he and Troy Rosario have been able to take the impact of Japet Aguilar out of Barangay Nebra.
It's not so much what they, offensively, what they produce, but defensively, and like you mentioned, limiting Japet. That's been the difference here for TNT.
If you weren't able to watch Game 1, Japet Aguilar had 25 points and 16 rebounds. Here in Game 2, only 5 points on 2 out of 5 shooting. And imagine this, only 5 rebounds for someone like Japet Aguilar.
Speaks to the game plan and the preparation that TNT has in this ball game. And you gotta give credit to the two big men inside.
They go to Mariano. Aljon draws the foul on Harvey Carey.
So the difference maker in this ball game is Aljon Mariano. Aside from Stanley Pringle, who exploded for 27 points, hasn't scored since. Aljon Mariano has really picked up the slack. Only 2 players in Genebra have scored in double digits, and Aljon is one of them who has a chance here to go for 20 points. So he is the difference maker. He's the one responsible for keeping the lead, keeping the lead of TNT to a very, very slim margin.
Jay Washington will now be replacing Harvey Carey. When you're talking about Aljon Mariano, you talk about a guy who is able to contribute, but in this stint in the PBA bubble, he only averages 8.5 points. Coming up big here in Game 2 of the finals. A major performance, but will it be enough for them to get a 2-0 advantage here in the series? That's a question we're looking for an answer for. And Cisa from outside only hits the board. Bad miss there for Simon. 5-point lead for TNT. Aguilar with a pick. Now it's Tenorio. Pringle goes for the hop step. Pringle was ready for it, and they will reward Pringle with 2 free throws.
Simon Enciso tried to read that hop step. He read it right, but he was a little bit too slow trying to get in front of Stanley Pringle, and ended up getting called for that blocking foul.
The speed of Stanley's hop step that time was also a little bit off-key. It was different from how we would usually see him pull that off. But perhaps it was because the body of Simon Enciso was already there, and he knew that he was going to get fouled nonetheless. It still stays true that whenever we see that hop step, Jet, it usually leads to points for Genebra. This time, it just comes from the free throw line. Stanley goes 2 for 2.
It's only a 3-point lead for TNT. No matter what you say about how bad Genebra is playing, the scoreless leaders, they're only down 3 points, and they have a big chance of coming out with a win. So TNT has to execute down the stretch.
Ogoy pushing 35 points, goes to Eram. Boy, a little bit too strong on the reverse, trying to get space. He goes up. 3 Genebra players umbrellaing him, preventing him to even get an attempt at the basket. And Japet gets fouled as he rolled. The question is, will there be free throws? Look at the defense of Genebra here.
That's great disciplined defense, just keeping your hands up, not swiping down on the ball. And the last second, you see Japet Aguilar using his length to get that shot blocked.
Mariano and Aguilar almost building a house on top of Eram there, putting a roof on him.
That's a foiled chance. Free throws will come back to haunt them down towards the end of this ball game. You got 2 missed free throws by Aljon Mariano a while ago, and then now 1 from Japet Aguilar. The game should be tied had they made it.
Japet makes the second. It's only a 2-point lead for TNT, but you're right, Chet, because right now, Genebra has 9 misses from the free throw line. So that deficit that they're facing right now could have easily been, covered by the free throw misses. Here's Pugoy slicing goes to Eram, but there was a foul even before that jam.
Both teams in the penalty now. Last 5 minutes left in the ball game. You got two teams who are in the penalty situation.
These 5 minutes may be played over a long period of time with teams taking free throws on every loose ball or defensive foul taken. But it's about these teams being smart about the situation they're in. Pugoy misses.
A little bit of fatigue now you can see on both teams, and especially on RR Bogoy, who's played 36 minutes now.
Castro taking it away and full display of the speed of the blur. Nobody could catch him that time. He extends the TNT lead to 4 points again.
See here that pick and roll, tried to split it a little bit too tight. And Jason Castro catching the ball, laying it up in, speeding down the lane.
And that's our amazing play of the quarter, brought to you by Smart. Experience next level speed with Smart 5G.
Welcome back to the AF Arena, powered by Smart 5G. When I went up to Genebra, so this Genebra huddle, there was some sort of disappointment displayed by Coach Tim Cohn. So before even talking about a play, he sat everybody down, he looked them eye to eye, he discussed aggressiveness, he talked about composure, and he told them that if they want to do something, they have to do it, they have to go all the way, and they have to go all out. It's sort of a mental toughness challenge from Coach Tim Cohn. He knows that they have the skills, but they have to have the heart to get back into this game. Gentlemen.
You can never doubt the words of the winningest coach in PBA history. And he knows that this team has the ability to win championships because we have all seen it firsthand. This is pretty much the core that Coach Tim Cohn has won all of his championships with Genebra. Maybe you add a little bit of new faces like Stanley Pringle, Arvin Tolentino, Anjon Mariano. But pretty much the core has been there. So right now, like Denise said, it's a mental challenge for them to overcome this 4-point deficit with 4 and 20 left. Pugoy, open again. Pugoy with 38 points.
RR Bogoy, you gotta credit Jason Castro on that pass. He drew the defense perfectly, perfect timing, passing it to the pocket of RR Bogoy for the easiest three-point shot that he's had. 4 out of 7 now from 3 for RR Bogoy.
That is taken away by TNT. However, Enciso was already on the line. And so it will go back to Barangay Genebra. But the good thing for TNT was there's only 3.1 seconds remaining. This was the booming triple of Pugoy from the corner.
Lotus defense. Keeping keeping his hands up, not committing any stupid fouls, and in the moment Aljon Mariano raises the ball, he blocks it.
TNT has been very active in this game. They were already pretty active in game one, but you know, the little things, like you said, Jet, earlier, sometimes when you trust your system, you only need a little bit of maybe tightening some screws and a little bit of adjustments for you to be able to improve a lot in your performance. And do also take note of these dates. The games of the finals were doing Sunday, Wednesday, and then Friday games. December 4 is going to be game 3 at 6 p.m. We're still trying to figure out if games 5, 6, and 7 will be necessary. Of course, if you're TNT, you want at least game 5 right now to be necessary.
They're on the right track talking about TNT right now. They just have to nurse this lead, execute on offense, and play steady on defense. Not give Genebra any sign of momentum to come out to this victory.
Castro. Only 4 seconds on the shot clock. Rosario using the glass. No, there's a foul whistle. We'll go back to Barangay Genebra.
Loose ball foul on, I think, called the JP Adam on that rebounding scuffle. He tried to crash the boards and tap that ball out. Oh, no clear foul made from our angle, but the referees saw something different. They seen a little bit too much contact, maybe.
What hurts is that's a loose ball foul. That will mean free throws. From a personal point of view, I agree with you, Jet. Yes, there was a bump. I'm just not so sure if a bump like that already merits a foul. But right now, if you're Genebra, you want to make use of all the chances given to you. That's what Aljon is doing. Making up for his earlier missed free throws.
That's a 5-point ball game now for TNT. And if you're TNT, you know, like your consultant was saying, next play. You gotta focus on the next play in the next 3 minutes of this ball game.
Castro has it. Using the Aram screen, Jason. Back out to JP. Puts his head down, attacking Aguilar to no avail.
Good possession for them. They didn't get a high percentage basket attacking Japin.
TNT sticking to that 2-3 zone. Pringle from the corner. Breaks through. Stanley Pringle getting Genebra within 2.
Huge 3-point shot by Stanley Pringle. Cut the lead down.